Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Trade CRM, where we're going to talk about how you can increase your sales, organize your team, and automate tasks. For everyone on the call here, this is just a simple discussion and demo so that you can visualize your sales process and learn how activity-based sales processes can help you increase your sales, can also help you automate some of your team's tasks, and can help you save time and minimize mistakes. So there's a lot we could cover on this subject, but for the sake of everyone's time, we'll leave that for future webinars. If you'd like to book a one-on-one with us to demo the software, just let us know by leaving a message in the chat and or connect with us on LinkedIn or our website. So I'm Dwayne. I'll be hosting this this morning, and Business Hub provides technology advice and sales support for small and large-sized businesses. But that's really enough about me. Let's jump right in and talk about why we're here, and let me explain the agenda today. So in the first part of this webinar, we'll be walking you through the concept of why you want to use an activity-based sales process. Then I'll demo how you can set this up in your CRM. Okay. All right, let's get started. Revenue is every business owner's or manager's a nemesis, and it keeps us all up at night. In my experience, managing sales teams over the past 25 years, it's really activities that drive results. And more importantly, having a way to visualize your sales process, or any process really, is the key to consistent results. I think focusing on the core revenue generating activities is the most important part, right? Because it's something you can rinse and repeat. And having one software solution that does it all, well, that just makes sense to me, doesn't it? It should make sense to you as well. Having a software application where you can have one place where all your team is managed and all their activities are managed, as well as all your customer information, like your orders and the communications and emails and that sort of thing, is really great. And being able to automate some of the tasks that go along with all those activities will enable your team to stay focused and minimize mistakes. And by using activity-based sales process, you'll be able to increase your sales because, you know what, you'll be able to keep track of all your leads, all your deals, all your current customers, and all the activities, as I said, all under one roof and one software platform. And a CRM used properly really can be a secret weapon. It can help you stay ahead of your competition by making sure that you're following specific timelines on different activities and different stages throughout your processes. And being able to get visibility and scientific data basically on what actions work and what don't will enable you, again, to stay ahead of your competition, because you're always evolving and improving, because you have really good insights on the team's activity. Okay. Customizing your CRM to be able to match your sales process, or any process really, is essential. And using a CRM and being able to customize and the naming conventions, the labels, and things that you use to make it your own really will help with the team, your different vendors that you're using maybe, or suppliers that you're using that may have access to this software. And if everyone's using the same names for things, then it just makes it a lot easier, especially when the back office and the field team are all connected using the same language, so to speak. Okay, so this CRM that I'm going to show you today is really easy to customize and simple to use. And having a clear snapshot of how your deals are progressing, looking through each activity and seeing which deal needs your immediate attention is not always apparent if you're not using a visualized CRM or an activity-based CRM. So in this case here, you're looking at a screen where on the left-hand side you have all these leads that are in. And there's some things that you can notice right there. There's deal routing, number one. So that's a function of the CRM. And what it does is it basically allows you to set how many days until this deal is routed. And that just basically means that if there is no activity done within a certain period, then this card will turn red. And you can see how many days it's rotted there. You're -1 day. And then the other thing you want to notice is that if there's a yellow indicator, so with an exclamation point, a warning sign, it's basically just telling you that, hey, this deal has no activities attached to it. It gives you a little bit of information visually. You can see this via your application on your mobile phone or on your desktop. Easy to use. Okay. In the end, by focusing on the actions involved in closing a deal will help provide insight and control. It really allows you as managers to clearly see all the activities that took place in order to close the deal. And now really all you have to do is rinse and repeat, and that'll enable you to scale, right? So to begin to visualize your sales process, you first need to understand all the actions that go into closing a deal. And think of it as a roadmap of your sales process, or any process really. We like to call that this activity-based selling, because it's really all about keeping your focus on the actions that make sales happen. So let's take a look at some common activities we might find in the construction or trades industry. And by no means is this an exhaustive list. But if your business focuses on RFPs, then you might be doing regular searches. So RFP searches are an activity we want to track. And when you see an RFP, you might have specific people within your organization that are assigned to specific RFPs. So you may need to assign that to a specific person who's going to write the RFP and start putting it together. You may need to figure out what the scope of work is. You may need to have someone complete the RFP. That RFP might have a approval process, which means that may need to be sent to a manager or an engineer or someone else like that needs to approve the RFP for pricing and mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And then once that's approved, you're going to need to register the RFP, and you may have a specific person within the organization that does that. And then you might have to follow up with the RFP. If when you submit the RFP, somebody comes back, or a company comes back with a response requested, so they want you to respond to something, then you'll need to make sure that you're following up and get notified on that response, and then have someone that's responsible for that responding to the RFP. And then at the end, either you win it or you lose it. Okay, so those are some of the key activities that you might do in an RFP process. However, if we're not doing RFP and we're just looking at general sales and marketing activities, well, you might have marketing activities and a marketing manager in your team that's going to constantly be looking for new leads, searching for leads. This could be through directories and associations and stuff like that. It also could be, you could be doing digital advertising, or maybe sending out flyers, or doing LinkedIn outreach. Okay. So those are like general lead generation type activities that you might be doing that you want to keep track of. Then you have, referrals. Maybe referrals are coming in. You might want to have a clear process for how you're managing the referrals and who's responsible for managing those referrals. And then as a sales or business development manager in the construction or trades industry, you may have them do regular prospecting. So looking at new companies, new businesses that are coming up that may need some help. You might be looking at, software like Crunchbase that basically tells you when organizations are getting seed money and what that seed money is for. So, there might be some prospecting activities that you want to keep track of. Obviously, you want to keep track of all the meetings that you're setting, keep track of all the documents and scope of work, as well as the quotes that are sent out by prospect. And then you might have scheduled final negotiations. And of course, you have your win-loss. So again, these are different types of activities that you're going to do in maybe the trade or construction industry. And as I said, these are not exhaustive. And your activities may be a little bit different, and that's okay. But once you have all the activities, now it's all about mapping out who's who in the zoo, and finding out who's responsible for what and when they'll do it. So in this example here, maybe you've got a marketing manager that's on your team, or a team of marketing managers. You may have managers that manage different aspects of the sales process and or the operations. And then you have your back office staff that support those managers and the teams. Then you have your actual field teams that actually get out there and do the work. And then we have the owners that own the business, or the CEO or C-suite, that sort of thing. Okay, so now we know who's who, and we know what they do, and we assign all the activities to the right person. Then what you can do is you can create an assembly line of all the activities. Okay, So this is where you can really start to scale your business and your sales process, because you can start to create an assembly line of all the revenue generating activities that you can basically just rinse and repeat over and over again to get a positive result. And the CRM I'm going to show you today is Pipedrive. Pipedrive is a very large CRM that's used internationally, globally, and across North America. It's a really easy to use CRM. It's not complicated at all. And it's really built by salespeople for salespeople. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So Pipedrive, one of the big things that Pipedrive does really well is it makes it easy for you to understand what's working and what's not working by highlighting errors and missed opportunities. Like I said, when I showed you the deal routing prior, here you can see there's a red arrow button there. And that's basically saying that somebody missed something that it was supposed to be done yesterday, right? So there's an activity that was missed. Then you have the gray ones there that can show you what activity there's to do. And then on the left, you've got the exclamation point that tells you, hey, there's no activities associated with this deal. And if it's green, if you do see a green icon, that just basically tells you that that green icon tells you basically that there's an activity due today. And as a manager, you'll be able to quickly see when you log into Pipedrive, you can look at each one of the pipelines and see what activities are due and what deals are in what stage and what the value of those deals are. Okay. Really, really easy to do. And it does provide you with some good intel, right? So it can also help you uncover holes in your sales process, right? So if you start to see that specific activities are getting missed over and over again, well, why are they getting missed? And then you can do a deep dive and try to find the root cause of that and then fix that. And that could be that maybe the way you set up the deal stage is wrong, or maybe the activity, there's a gap between two people that are communicating or way they're communicating. And you'll be able to see that really quickly. Okay. Now what you can do is stop really guessing what's wrong. There's no more guesswork involved. By using activity-based process and using a CRM where you can track all of those activities, it now will provide you with that coachable intel where you can have confident conversations with your team, talking about specifically their actions and what they're doing, not specifically their behavior. It's like, hey, you were supposed to follow up on this quote. It didn't get done. Why didn't it get done? Right. And then you can find out the reason behind that. Okay. And then nip that in the bud. So the key with any software is to make sure that your team is actually using it. And Pipedrive has a mobile application that's really easy to use. It works with iOS or Android. And like I said, you can customize it so that all the labels and naming conventions match your business, so that your teams are all speaking in the same language. When they log into something, it's called the same thing as it would be on some of your forms and that sort of thing. So again, early adoption is really easy to use. And if you work with an organization like myself, we do provide customization, implementation for you as a Pipedrive partner. But also we can provide coaching and best practices and that sort of thing for you as well. Okay. So the bottom line here is that using an activity-based sales process and Pipedrive will help you to improve your overall business. And so let's hop over to Pipedrive and let me show you how easy it is yourself to do this. The one great thing with Pipedrive is when you're setting up your process, and we call that your pipeline, so your sales pipeline, your funnel, whatever, it's basically all the stages that start from left to right that your deal needs to go through before it's closed, right? And it doesn't have to be an exhaustive list of all your activities here. Activities can be managed somewhere else, and I'll show you where those are. And they can be automated, and I'll show you how to do that too. But here, this is basically, your high-level view of, what's in the pipeline, what's going to get closed and when, and what activities, what stages are they at, and what activities are attached, and who's responsible for what, right? So in here, you can see I've got a number of different demo pipelines that I've created. I created one for real estate. I created one for marketing and lead generation, one for debt recovery and legal debt recovery, one for trade sales. Okay, so one for trade RFPs. There's one that you could create even as a project pipeline, and that sort of thing. So let me show you really quickly how easy it is to set this up. Now, obviously, I created all these for you, but all you have to do here is click on the pencil icon. And when you click on the pencil icon, you'll see you have all of your stages right here. Now, it's really, really easy to do. You can see, just click in this box and you can change this name to whatever you want. You can move any of these stages around by just dragging them, right? So if you want to move them around, you can easily just create a new stage. Okay, so we can come over here and add a new stage by just clicking on the add stage button, and all it does is populates a new column right here, and then you just enter in the name. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. You can delete the stages too, which makes it really easy as well. Okay. A couple things I want to talk about here is you really want to just think about what are the core activities within your pipeline, right? Like when you first get that customer in, what are the key stages that are going to indicate, okay, this deal is getting closer to getting closed, as well as you want to think about where are all the risky stages, where are the opportunities where if things are not done within that stage within a specific period of time or in the right way or in the very specific order, then you have a potential high risk of losing that deal. So you want to make sure you have those core stages set up in your CRM. Okay. But if you look in here, the things that you can change here are really simple. You can change the name of it. You can change the probability. So we all know as business owners, if I get a lead in, I know that I may close that lead 5% of the time or 20% of the time, depending on what actions happen with that lead. So when the lead comes in, if I don't contact them by within the same day or within 24 hours or within 2 days or whatever that time frame might be, that there's a risk that they could go elsewhere. What you would do is then you would just set the rotting on there for those days. Okay. And then the probability, what's the percentage of chance of this actually turning into a sale because that you got a lead in, and maybe that's 5%. Okay. So you can set that to whatever you want, 5, 10, 20. And then deal rotting days, you can set, 120 days, 2 days, whatever you want to do at this point. Okay. And then once that's all set up, then you're good to go. And it's really, really easy at that point. Like I said, the Pipedrive makes it really simple for you to customize and change the naming of your deal stages. Okay, so I'm just going to hit cancel there. I'm not going to save anything. And then you can see kind of here's what it looks like visually. All right. And if you want to just add a new pipeline, no problem there. You can just click on the new pipeline button, and then it'll populate it with these basic columns. Again, you can delete all of these except for the last one because you have to have at least one stage in your pipeline. And then here you want to just change the name. Okay, so it's really easy to do. Like I said, not hard at all. And if you want to reorder them, like if you have you have a bunch of pipelines, you just click the reorder the pipelines, and you just drag those to the top. So I need trade sales is important. I want that up there. I want my trades RFP up there. So I'm going to put those right at the top, hit save, and then boom, it saves it. And if I come back in, and I'll see now trades at the top, RFP and trade sales. So it's, again, they just make it really, really easy to use. So we're going to move on, and let's talk about setting up your activity. So the key piece here to set up your activity is just click on your name, come into company settings, and it'll bring you right to this page where it says company settings. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, this is all your personal stuff that you can change. But we want to look at the global activities and naming conventions. So you can see I kind of set up all that for you now, very similar to the video that we just saw, where I showed you the activity. So, we have prospecting, we have LinkedIn outreach, flyers, cold calling, et cetera. And you can see they're all there. All you have to do is come over here and click add activity type. And it'll pop up with this nice little box here where I can add a name, just type in whatever name I want. And I can choose the icon, which makes it easy, right? So that you can visually see that's what it's for. So if I was going to send a quote or cold call or a meeting booked or whatever, they've got, the meeting icon with people, or the email icon, or the task icon. Or if you want to get specific about documents, like there's documents that you need to create. So you just create the document there. So again, like I said, they make it really easy. If you want to have a whole bunch of different activities that are listed, you can do that there. Okay, so we'll go into Monado, and let's change their label to a hot lead. Okay, and then you're going to see some automatic things happen. So you can see I need to assign the RFP today, and I need to identify specifications. So these are the activities I was talking about. And what you just saw there was workflow automation in action. All I did was change the label of this person, and automatically Michelle was assigned today to assign the RFP. So how this dashboard basically is your people dashboard, your CRM dashboard, so to speak. It gives you all the information about your prospect or your customer in one screen. So it gives you, their name, who's responsible and owns that. You can quickly add a deal here if you want to. It gives you the details about the person, their email address, where they're from, the industry they're in. It has their organization. You can click on that, and that'll take you to the organization itself and give you information about that. It'll also show you the deals that were created. And this deal was automatically created because they changed the label, right? So now we have a deal. And if we come into our deal stages, there it is there. So there's Grady Jacobson right there. And you can see he's at the bottom, right? Because priority always goes to the top. And you can see that was created automatically for me. Okay. Now I can come into this deal. I can add a value to it. So let's say we have the RFP is in there, and the RFP is 1.5 million, and save. And now we can see that deal is worth 1.5 million. So if I come up in here in my deal stage, I can see I've got in CAD the value of all of my deals right now are 1.5 million. And what I don't see is the rest of them because we haven't set that up, and this is just a demo. If you want to assign an activity to a specific person, so let's say let's find Jacob here. Okay, so this lead just came in. We want to assign that to somebody. We can manually just assign that right away by just clicking over here and just moving that lead to, say, Michelle Smith. Now Michelle Smith is the owner. Okay, so any activity that's assigned at this point will be assigned to Michelle Smith unless you set up a workflow automation that did that separately. So here we can see Michelle Smith's the owner. If I just want to create an activity, I can just come in here right here and say, okay, activity, Michelle, you need to do the walkthrough with the client. And so you need to contact them first. So we're going to put this activity as tomorrow. If you're an administrator, you can decide who that's going to be. So then you can see there's the activity. It's due, but we don't have a deal yet. So we want to create a deal. We can easily just add in a new deal here. We can say the value of the deal is $30,000. We want it to be, it's an RFP. So we want it to be in the trades RFP. The RFP is identified, okay, but we haven't assigned it yet. So we're going to assign it to Michelle. So we're going to come over here and assign that to Michelle and hit save. Okay. So now we have a deal. Okay. So the deal is done. So let's say I want to come back in here and just edit this activity that I just did. I can come in now. And if I start typing in Eddie's, there it is right there. Right. So now it's assigned to that deal. So you can see it's due tomorrow. Michelle Smith's the owner. The person that she's responsible for is Jacob. And there's the company and the deal is attached. So now if I go into the deal, you'll see that there's the walkthrough of the client. So now if I come over here, you're going to see everything over here is yellow because there's no activities assigned, but this one's gray, right? And if I click on that, it's going to tell me what it's due, right? And I can click on that and it'll take me to the actual activity. Now let's talk about automation, because I did promise to talk to you a little bit about automations. So here we're back into our contacts, and we'll just pick any old contact here. And let's say we'll find one that's not been labeled. So we have Marissa Healy. She's in biotech. She's organization is Hessel Group. So all I'm going to do here, change this to a hot lead label. Okay. And you're going to see over here open deals that happen and things we need to do. So you can see that hot lead right there. And we come over here, we can see there's 2 activities to do. And now there's an open deal. So prior to that, there was no open deal. And the automation happened as soon as I changed the label on the person. Okay, so if I come back in here and I look at the RFPs, we're going to see there's a new one in here. It's called the Hessel Group. Okay, so if I click on the Hessel Group, you're going to see that now we have Healy Melissa, is right, Marissa right here. Okay, and we can see that we've got the deal created automatically, and we have first 2 tasks assigned, right? So the person responsible is Michelle Smith. She needs to assign the RFP to the person that's responsible to take the RFP. She'll also need to pull down the specifications of the RFP and send that over as well. Okay, so those are the 2 tasks. Now let's show you how to actually create that really easy in Pipedrive. So all you do is you come over here, you click these 3 little dots, you click on workflow automation, okay? And I'll actually show you the one that I created. So here's the one right here. It's called add a deal. So let's see if this is the one I did. Yep, hot lead. Okay, so the trigger is always what you're going to choose. The trigger is going to be to trigger this event. Okay, to trigger this workflow. So in order for this workflow to take place, okay, we need to change the label, and the label needs to be changed to hot lead. And once that label is changed to hot lead, then here are all the activities that are going to happen. Okay, so you can see there's 3 different actions that are going to happen. The first action that's going to happen is a deal is going to get created. It's going to link all the people associated and the organization associated with that contact. It's going to name it the person's name. So the organization's, the person's organization's name. It's going to place it in the RFP identified stage, and it's going to select an owner of Michelle Smith. Okay. And down here, it's only going to be triggered by me, or it's going to be triggered by any user within the company. So you just got to make sure you make that switch. Okay. Now I want all the activities associated with that deal. And you can see here, we've created an activity, and that created activity is going to be pretty straightforward. It's basically going to say, you need to identify the specs, and that needs to be the same day as this deal is created. And it's going to get assigned to Graham. So you can see that's a different person that's responsible for pulling down the specs. Okay. So maybe he's an engineer or whatever. Okay. And you can see all the different associations assigned with that. So the person's organization, the deal stage, and that sort of thing. And then you just hit apply now. Okay. And then you can see this activity that was created here. And that shows you that we need to assign the RFP when? Same day as the deal is created. But this is going to get assigned to Michelle Smith. She's going to be responsible for submitting the RFP and managing the RFP through the whole process, with the exception of pulling down the specs, okay? Because the engineer is going to help her with that. And then you can see the deal that's linked to this, the organization that's linked to this, and the person that's linked to that activity, so that when that activity is created, all the information you're going to need is all right there. So that's really it, folks. It's not hard to do. And if you want me to show you exactly how to do this from scratch, I can. So let's go ahead. And all you're going to do is you're going to come in and click on add a custom workflow. Okay. And we're going to name this workflow add a deal. And found an RFP and updated the contact. So all the contact information in the CRM. Let's add that as well. Then create a deal. Okay. And hit start. So then all you have to do is figure out what's the trigger. The trigger is going to be the label that's changed. And remember I said it's a label that needs to be updated. So we're just going to click on person updated, hit apply. Okay. And now we're going to choose what the conditions are going to be. So you're going to pick on label. Okay. So just click label, and you're going to say has changed. And you can see everything stops there. Label has changed. Then you're going to add the condition is what did the label change to? So label is now, right? Hot lead. Apply conditions. Okay. So those are the conditions. It's done. And now you just want to decide what are the actions. Well, remember, the first thing you want to do is create a deal. So you're just going to create a deal. Okay. We're going to create a deal there. And the name of the deal, you just choose the person's organization name. So I like to do that. So we label it by name, but you can put in whatever you want. You can have the person's name. You can have the address. You can have set up specific custom labels that you want to put in for your title. Okay. But next, what we want to do is we want to add in what's included in this activity, this workflow activity. And we want the person that's linked to the account. So that's the contact person. We want their organization. We obviously want the title. That's mandatory. We may want the value in this deal. Okay, so we can put that there. You definitely need to choose the pipeline stage, and we should choose the owner. The rest of these are optional. It's up to you if you want to change them or add them. But you can see here, it's the person, right? You just click on that, the organization before the update. It's already got the title in there. The stage we want to put it to, so you can see here's all my pipelines and every stage within the pipeline. So I want to come down here to RFP identified, right? And the owner of this is going to be Michelle Smith, okay? So I hit apply. Now that's going to automatically, every time I change the label, it's going to create this deal, okay? But I also want to create those first 2 activities. So the first activity I want them to do, because I know it needs to get done, is come in here, okay? So let me show you that again. So we're going to add new action. We're going to choose activity. We're going to create the activity and then click on next step. The activity name subject name should be the exact name as the type, right? So what you can do in here is you can see, okay, we need to assign the RFP, okay? Or maybe before we assign it, maybe we need to identify the specifications. So that needs to get done first. So the due date is going to be the same day. We're going to skip weekends because our team doesn't work on the weekends. And then we need to add on a few more things. So we need to know who's it assigned to. We want the linked deal, the linked organization, and linked people. Okay. There's other options there, but for now, I'm just going to click those four. And the assigned to for this one here, that's going to be, like I said, that was Graham. And the linked deal, it's automatically pulled in there. You can choose the person organization before update and the linked people before update as well, right? So you can choose person. Okay, so you want to name that the same as the actual naming convention for the activity. So we can see identify specifications is the name, and we're going to hit apply. Okay, so that one's done. And then the last thing we want to do is make sure to remind yourself to create another activity so that you assign the task and when. So maybe we need to give that guy a day, Graham a day. So this one here again is going to be assign RFP. Okay, due date is going to be maybe 2 days. Okay, from when this happens. We're going to skip weekends. I'm going to click on add more fields. We're going to assign to the linked deal, the linked organization, the linked people. I'm going to keep all those ones there and hit save changes. The subject again is going to be assign RFP. And it's going to be assigned to, in this case, going to be assigned to Michelle Smith. Okay. And we're going to have the LinkedIn organization before the update and the linked person and hit apply. So at this stage, it's done. It's ready to rock and roll. And all you have to do is make it active. But I'm not going to do that because I've already created one for you. In fact, I'm just going to close that. And you're going to see it's kind of grayed out, and that means it's not active. When you click active, it's going to be white. But for now, because I have this one already done, I'm going to delete that just so we don't have any duplications. And like I said, now I'll show you quickly how it works. We're going to back into our contacts. We're going to come over here to pick any contact that doesn't have a label. So let's go with, let's choose anyone here. I don't know, Mike Tanner or whatever, Berg Jordan, whatever. So let's choose this one. We'll switch to hot lead. As you can see, we're going to come back over here, 2 activities to do, 1 open deal. I come back over here and I look at my deal stages. Boom, there it is. This is Berg Jordan. If I click on that person there, I'm going to see all the activities that need to happen, and we hit save. Okay, so now you can easily go in and update your workflows, no problem. So once you create them, you know, they're not static. You can come back in and then they are dynamic. You can change them to whatever you want. Okay, so folks, I hope you enjoyed the webinar and you learned how we could customize your sales process and using a CRM like Pipedrive to customize this all within the CRM. Create some activities that are going to be revenue generating, so to create revenue generating activities. And then, of course, using workflow automation to help you improve your processes and to eliminate waste and save a ton of time. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks again. And if you have any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one demo, then click the link below and we will meet with you to review this and demo it for you. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.